Good afternoon, everyone. I want to answer the Torah Texting Tuesday challenge. We had some texting challenges, that's for sure. So the Torah challenge, however, was as follows. Reuven purchased $300,000 worth of stuff from Shimon. And he had to pay him back in 60 days. 90 days later, he had to pay him back. And at the same time, however, there was pressure from Shimon, his bank manager, because Shimon owed money, you know. He also was carrying a lot of debt, and in fact, the bank manager wanted to pay the $300,000 in debt. Shimon approached Reuven to say, listen, I have pressure from my bank manager to pay back this debt. I need you to pay up. Reuven's like, oh, this is not going so well, but okay, I got no choice. He goes around to family, to friends, to cousins, and he scratches and he borrows, he manages to gather $250,000. He goes to the bank manager, meaning Shimon's bank manager, and says, oh, I hear Shimon has a debt of $300,000. What about if I gave $250 for the debt? Bank manager's like, okay, that's nice, but the debt is $300. Well, what do you prefer? $250 hard cash right now? You might never see your money ever again. Bank manager hems and haws, that's fine. I will take the $250, and with that, we'll wipe out the debt of Shimon, which was $300,000. It happens to be the exact same amount of money that Reuven owed Shimon. The question is, that was the case. A year later, Shimon discovers the deal that the bank manager had with Reuven, meaning that he paid $250 to wipe out $300,000 debt. Shimon goes to Reuven and says, you owe me $50,000. You only wiped out a $250 debt, not a $300,000 debt. You owe me $50,000. The bank manager told me the deal, the handling that you did a year ago. There's a principle in the Gemara which is called Shi'abuda de Rabbi Natan, which is known, it's an expression, a halachic Talmudic expression, which is found, the source is actually a Gemara in Ketubot, where this guy Rabbi Natan comes up with this chiddush, comes up with this a new idea. And there he says, Minayin l'nosei b'chaviro ma'ana v'chaviro b'chaviro min yishmotzin mizevnotin lezeh. Basically, if you got A owes B money, B owes C money, can A just pay C? Where do you know you're allowed to do this from? And he says this is based on a pasuk. He says v'natan la'asher asham lo. How he derives from it, I don't want to get into right now. Quotes a pasuk in Parshat Naso, which is not his proof. It's his proof text. It's a smachta where he gets the idea from. And this is actually brought down the halacha by all the contemporary later on the posuk. And they take this principle of Rabbi Natan that yes, A can go to C and pay off the debt, thereby wiping out his own debt that he had to party B, since someone else had that same issue with party B. So in fact, the halacha is he would not have to pay back the $50,000 because by canceling that $300,000 debt, it's tantamount, it's equal to $300,000, even though technically it was just $250,000, since the bank held a $300,000 debt against him. If that gets canceled out, he's in fact paying him back the $300,000 debt. As long as that gets wiped out, that appears to be sufficient. It was a little complicated, but actually a few people, not only did people get it right, some people knew the Yashabuda de Rabbi Natan and quoted it, and they quoted it not like 4 hours later because of Rabbi Google. They literally quoted it instantaneously.
That's pretty bizarre.
That was I was very shocked to see that. I cannot recall having such a quick, correct response. It wasn't like they looked it up. They simply did not have time to look it up. So, that's pretty amazing. Ashreichem, the Jewish people. Have a terrific Tuesday, everyone.